Damn, those alien bastards are gonna pay for shooting up my ride.
Duke Nukem 3D, the game that made Duke Nukem a household name. Now, I have very fond memories of Duke Nukem as far back as primary school. Yeah, I know, weird, right? But back in the 90s, early 2000s, there were less rules, kind of less bullshit. Really depended where you were, really, but my school was actually pretty safe and tame in a way. I remember it fondly though. In our primary school library, we had PC Gamer magazines. Actually, we had a variety of Xbox, PlayStation, and PC gamers. We had things from Quake, to AVP, to Halo, to Killzone, to Duke Nukem 3D. I would, as a child, spend lunchtime reading over these tomes of awesomeness. Hell, I remember during class, I would just stare at the Duke 3D issue while my teacher rambled on about stuff, right? I pondered over this game for quite some time. The epic looking Duke and his guns and aliens getting their ass beaten over. The fact that the cover looked like that Army of Darkness movie I'd seen so many times when I went to the local Blockbuster, which actually shut down in 2018 in my hometown. Moment of silence for that brave childhood creature. So fast forward to 2008-9ish, and I got my first iPod Touch and an iTunes gift card for about $20-30 bucks. While browsing games, I saw it. Duke Nukem 3D, $10, or something along those lines. Now, what sucks is, we can't play that anymore. I can't download that anymore. Even though I bought it, it's like, no, you can't download it anymore. And you know what? I hate the people that decided to get rid of it. Just, you guys suck. Now, while yes, Duke Nukem 3D was playable on iPod Touch and iPhone, it was actually pretty great. Now, don't get me wrong, I still play Duke 3D on my computer from old WAD files to even the freeware versions. Still wandering in the cyberspace. I even played the 360 demo. Far more than I'd like to admit. But having it on the go was just fun, especially as a kid. And when it worked, it did it pretty well. You could just click the screen and the bullets went when you needed to. You didn't have to really look up and down. You just had to really move around. It wasn't too bad. But you see, I never truly finished the game. Sure, I played the first 2 episodes more than I would like to admit as well. But Duke 3D is a fun simulator, and that will take up your time. You can spend hours playing pool, shooting aliens, watching strippers, finding secrets, kicking things. It's a sandbox of fun that was far ahead of its time. Sure, it wasn't the best looking game, especially since Quake was out in the same year, but it had its own identity. If Doom was made from thrash metal and Evil Dead and aliens, then Duke 3D was made from Evil Dead, alien invasion films, most likely a whole lot of porn, and Arnold Stallone badass action films with guns ablazing. The game makes you feel like an 80s, 90s action star, but better. From kicking aliens to death to shooting a slug from your shotgun into the skulls of those ugly mothers. The shooting still holds up, and the enemies slightly react to being shot, which, for the time, was a really good thing and really gave you a pretty vast tactical influence when playing. You see, a shotgun blast will give you a second opening to either dodge out the way or switch to a chain gun and blast them to Kingdom Come. A rocket launcher will spew an area effect that hurts nearby aliens as they witness their brothers explode into guts and brain matter. Bob, I'm getting married tomorrow. That's great. Oh, God, no, your brains are in my ears. Oh! Think of that as an early wedding present, asshole. You also get things like a jetpack, used for secrets or skipping parts of the level because there were some parts where you're just like, no way, I'm badass, but I'm not this badass. You had scuba gear for water sections and steroids for kicking ass and chewing bubblegum. If you want an old school shooter that still rocks, then Duke 3D has that in spades in the gameplay department, 100%. Next up, however, is level design, which can only be summed up with timeless. There's easy secrets, hard secrets, areas of the map you wouldn't think were accessible, but really all you need to do is explode a wall and bam, here's a new weapon, power up, health, ammo, you name it. And on higher difficulties you need to explore to keep your level of badassery flowing. At times it can feel like a well-crafted maze, and at times level design feels like an entire complex portion of a cityscape. The ways the levels are made and traversed in the game is solid. It makes the game insanely replayable and insanely fun to just randomly jump into. Then there's Duke, the badass one-lining killing machine that makes Arnold Schwarzenegger look like a choir boy. A choir boy! But there's more to it. Sure, Duke's a stereotype, but he's a stereotype with love and respect. He never hurts women, unless you want him to. He fights to save them, and he'll go to the end of the earths to save the day. Bloody quality bloke, mate. 100%. So what differences do you get in the World Tour? You get all the OG levels, and one new expansion made from the OG devs. And it's well made. It has a new enemy, a new weapon, which are both fun as hell to fight against and use, and that's sort of it. Sure, there's development commentary and there's modern Easter eggs and one of the best Egypt levels in gaming, but it's also missing the great expansions that the older Duke Nukem bundle had, like Lives of Beach and Duke It Out in DC. And while the new expansion of levels is great, if this package had those other add-ons included, this would be the pinnacle of Duke 3D collections. Maybe one day, right? Honestly, Duke 3D is a timeless shooter that I implore everyone to give a go. You won't be disappointed. Now all we need is a Duke 2016 remake of Duke Nukem to come back into pop culture, and we're cooking with badassery. So live long and kick ass, and hail to the king, baby.
Impossible, they say.